हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये Har Har Mahadev. Hari Om, Hari Om. So we are seeing the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Kshetrajna Yoga. So Bhagwan in the previous chapters, he spoke about the whole world as his own self. So Bhagwan has got this twofold Prakriti, Para and Apara, and through this Para and Apara Prakriti alone, Bhagwan appears like this world. So the world is Ishvara alone. The whole world is called Kshetra, and the knower of the this Kshetra is the Kshetrajna. So both are Ishvara alone. That is the very essential teaching of Bhagavad Gita and all the Upanishads. The Upanishads also convey the same message, ki sarvam khalvidam brahma, that everything is Brahma. All that we experience, idam, 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 is all Brahma, and aham atma Brahma, ayam atma Brahma, and this atma is also Brahma. So this is presented here in this Upanishad, in this chapter, and knowing this alone, one becomes free of this samsara. And knowing this alone, one has become that Jnani Bhakta, whose Lakshanas were mentioned in the 12th chapter. So Bhagwan, wanting to reveal his own nature, Supreme Swarupa, he begins this 13th chapter. So let us chant the first verse. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Om Atha Trayodashodhyayaha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramityabhidhiyate Etad yo vetti tam prahuhu Kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. Trayodashodhyayaha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Bhagavan himself begins this his teaching. He doesn't wait for Arjuna to ask any question. He begins to reveal that supreme knowledge to Arjuna. So Shri Bhagavan Vacha, he says, Idam Shariram Kaunteya. Hey Kaunteya, Idam Shariram, this body. This body, which is experienced as this, means our body, the gross physical body, as well as the subtle body, is referred to as this body here. So this body, idam shariram kaunteya, hey kaunteya, kshetram iti abhidhiyate, is called kshetra. This is just a term used for this body as kshetra. Kshetra means a field, like a field where the farmers and all they grow their crops. So it's called kshetra. So this body is also called kshetra. So idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidhiyate. And this body is known. It is known by someone. I know this body. So I am the knower of this body. So etad yo vetti, one who knows this body, tam prahuhu kshetrajnaiti. That person is known as kshetrajna. Nya means knower. Kshetrajna, knower of kshetra. Who calls him kshetrajna? And who calls this sharira kshetra? He said tadvidaha. The great wise people who know both of them. Those who know kshetra kshetrajnao ye vidanti te tadvidaha. Those who know kshetra and kshetrajna, they have given this name to this body and the knower of this body. Why this body is called kshetra? Shankaracharya ji in his commentary he writes कि हे कौन्तेय क्षतत्राणात् क्षयात् शरणात् क्षत्रवत् वा अस्मिन् कर्मफलं निर्वृत्तेः kshetramiति. This is called kshetra. It can be compared to a field where a farmer grows crops. The soil is tilled. The soil is well structured. Actually, we barricade that soil, form some channels also to circulate water and all. And the soil is tilled and the crops are grown. So sometimes the soil gets spoiled due to too much of growing of different types of crops. So it is left alone. Then slowly it becomes more healthy. Or certain fertilizers and organic fertilizers and all are used. So the soil becomes healthy again. So the soil has got this ability to heal itself, or it can be healed and protected from outside. So in the same way, this body is also protected. We keep protecting the body from any harm. And the body also has got this very wonderful ability to heal itself. That's so very strange and fascinating. Suppose you have a cut on the body, the blood oozes out, and after some time it stops oozing, and then slowly that cut gets healed. A little bit scar you might see in the beginning, but after a few days the scar also disappears and the body is totally healed and you don't even see the mark. If the scar is much deeper, then maybe some mark is seen. Or even some other disease we have, when we take a rest or we go to sleep, it starts healing itself, start treating itself. But sometimes if it cannot treat itself, we need some external support. So we take some special type of diet, or we take some medicines, and we assist the body to heal itself. Mm. So there are different, those techniques are there. The, what you call the different types of medical systems. Allopathy, they treat the body differently. Homeopathy treats differently. Naturopathy treats differently. Acupuncture treats differently. So there are Ayurvedic technique which treat differently. So understanding the whole body system, externally also we treat and protect the body, and the body also heals itself. So just as the kshetra, the field also is protected and it heals itself, so this similarity is there. Therefore the body is also called kshetra. That is one reason. Another reason is kshayat. Kshayat means it starts decaying. However much you may use that field and all, after lot of uses, it starts becoming more and more weak, and then you can't grow any more crops there. It starts decaying. It may take its own time, but it decays. Similarly, this body also, however much it may heal itself, or we may try to heal the body from outside and try to take care of this body, but slowly it also starts decaying. There is the weakness, all the limbs of the body becomes weak, grows old, the internal organs also becomes weak. All the physiological and other activities also becomes weak, metabolism and all. So this is also a natural process of this body. Not only this physical body, but even our senses becomes weak, our mind becomes weak. The sharpness of our memory goes down, the ability to comprehend things become weaker as we grow old, the retention power also goes down. So not only the physical body, but even the subtler body also becomes weak, start decaying. So this similarity is there. And another most important, Ksharana Kshatravadva Asmin Karma Phala Nirvrittehe. That just as in the field, the farmer grows crops. Different types of crops are grown. He has to put forth lot of work, till the soil, and that plant sow the seeds. And then even when the seed is growing, water the field and take care at every step. See that too much of water is also not given to them, too less water is also not there, and it is protected from other animals and all. So constant work is involved, and after working for a long time, and if it rains also properly at given time, and the crop is cut and harvested properly, then the farmer gets the benefit. He can sell the crop, keep something for himself, and get the benefit of it for himself and his family. Similarly, we have this body, the Sthula Sharir as well as the Sukshma Sharir, which is used by us. We perform different types of actions with the help of this body, mind, and it gives different types of result to us. And with those results, we can benefit ourselves and benefit others around us. And just as in the field, sometimes the crop gets wasted, or we put some seed which doesn't yield proper result. Same thing happens with this body also. We perform some actions, but we get contrary results, negative results. So all these similarities are there, but the most important thing is that field is different and the farmer is different who is farming on that field. Similarly, this body is there and the knower of the body is there who is different. So the knower of this body is called Kshetrajna. Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji writes ki Shariram Kshetram yo vetti, one who knows, Vijanati apadatalastakam jnanena vishayi karoti, one who knows this body head to toe, and not only naturally swabhavikena or aupadeshikena va vedanena vishayi karoti vibhagashah. One can know this body directly, or we can know it through the shastra, through the literature. We can study this body and know about it. We can read some medical books and all, then we know the various organs which are there inside the body and how they function. The main thing is they are all knowable. One may not know each and every part of the body, but still the body is knowable. It can be known directly or through inference or through the help of some scripture or person. We can know this body. So it is something which is known or can be known. So if it is known, then there must be a knower. So that knower is called Kshetrajna, and that which is known is Kshetra. Okay? Now again, a little bit more. This is a very important shloka, and it has to be understood properly. So all of you listen carefully, attentively. Now when we say body, we have this gross physical body and we have the subtle body. The gross physical body is made up of the 5 great elements: Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. Space, air, fire, water and earth. But this, the Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi is not just rough, but it is something which has undergone modification and all. We don't have this body growing in other planets. We are born on earth, so this body needs food for its sustenance and all. So that comes from the plants and other animals. So though there is these 5 elements in this body, but they are not the pure 5 elements, but they are the modified 5 elements. See, for example, fire. Fire is one of the 5 elements. But the same fire modifies to become the sun. The sun is also fire only. Then the same fire from the sun is absorbed by the plants through photosynthesis. It gets converted into the energy in the plant, the oil and that stuff which is there. Then that is consumed by human beings and animals. So the fire element which modifies to become the sun, modifies to become the oil in the plants, modifies to become that heat in our own body. So therefore the Shastras, they say that this, our physical body, of human body, is formed after the 5 elements have undergone 3 more modifications. They are called Trivrit Karanam. So the Pancha Tanmatras, they become gross by what we call the process of Panchikaranam. Then they are further grossified through the process of Trivrit Karanam. So Trivrit Karanam 1 makes the body of all the Devtas, including the sun god. Trivrit Karanam 2 makes the body of the plants, and Trivrit Karanam 3 makes the body of human beings and other animals. So this human body is made up of these 5 elements after they have undergone grossification at 3 different levels. These are details, you don't have to worry, but they are the details. So this body is nourished by food. Our parents, the food which they have eaten, it gets converted into blood and it gets converted into the seed. And the jiva identifies with this seed and is born. So this body is made up of food. It grows, it is nourished by food, and it again finally merges back into this Prithvi, which is also made up of food. So this gross physical body is known. It is known just like I know this book. Know means I, the knower, is different from it. I know it. I know this pen. So one thing we should know, the rule, the knower is always different from that which is known. Then only it can be known. For example, with my eyes I see this pen. So this pen must be different from the eyes. Only by remaining different it can be known. So the eyes know the pen, so eyes are different from the pen. Similarly, the Kshetrajna knows the Kshetra. Kshetrajna is different, Kshetra is different. As a knower, it is different. And I can remain, not only I see this pen, but I can remain separate from the pen. The pen can be separated from me. So first let us try to understand this body. So one, we have this gross physical body. Human body we have got. So our hands and legs and trunk and head and the internal organs. So complex. And this body is made up of matter. Akash, Vaya, Agni, Jal, Prithvi is all matter, which we can see outside. But very strange, this body functions. There are these functions happening in the body. One is all these organs are functioning very beautifully in beautiful coordination with each other. But through the body, we can also interact with the world. we can see, hear, taste, touch. These 5 elements with which this body is made, these 5 elements are experienced through our senses. So there is seeing, hearing, tasting, touching happening. Then there are these 5 organs of action. The hands, the legs, the vani, speech, the organ of excretion, and the organ of urination. These are the 5 organs of action. So actions are also happening through this body. And all these actions and perceptions are coordinated. Not that the eyes are seeing and the ears are hearing something and they are in their own different world. No. Though the eyes cannot hear and the ears cannot see, but the hearing and seeing and tasting are all coordinated properly. For example, if I want to walk, I not only see, I hear, but I use my legs also, hands also. So the karmendriyas, jnanendriyas are well coordinated to make actions possible. So there is an internal system is there which coordinates all this. That is called the antakarana, mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. They are the antakarana. This antakarana coordinates the sense organs, the organs of perception, as well as the organs of action, and manage the activity of this body. So that also, these senses are also made up of matter. And his mind is also the subtler prakriti only. So the energy is required for all these activities to happen. That energy, power is supplied by prana. The pranas which are there, which control all the activity of the entire cosmos, also control, manage the activities in this body. So pranas are there. So the stula sharir made up of 5 elements, and the sukshma sharir is made up of 19 parts. 5 organs of perception called jnanendriyas, 5 organs of action called karmendriyas, 4 antakaran, inner equipment, antakarana, they are 4 in number: mana, buddhi, chitta and ahankar. Mana is thinking faculty, buddhi is deciding faculty, chitta is retaining, remembering, retaining faculty, and ahankar is the sense of I, which is there in all this antakarana as well as in the body, etc. The sense of I am this, I am the doer, I am the knower, I am the enjoyer. So that sense of I, which is also part of this antakarana. And the pancha pranas, pran, apan, vyam, udan and saman. All this put together are 19 parts. They are called sukshma sharir. So I am not only the knower of the stula sharir, but I also know the Sukshma Sharir. I am associated with this Sukshma Sharir and this Sthula Sharir. When I die, the body Sthula Sharir is left behind, but my association with the Sukshma Sharir continues, and then I identify with another body that is called taking another birth. So in the past I have taken many births from the beginningless time, have taken many births and traveling from one body to another body, one gross body to another gross body, carrying the same Sukshma Sharir. So this is what is called Punarjanma, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jatare Shayanam. It goes on. So why am I associated with this body? I, the knower, Kshetrajna. Why am I associated with this Sukshma Sharir? Why not I remain separate from it? Just as the pen, I can just drop the pen and remain separate from the pen. I am the knower of the pen. I can be separate. So why can't I be separate from this subtle body? Why I have to be with it all the time? Because it causes so much of trouble, all sorrows, pain, fear, everything is there in this subtle body only. So why I have to hold on to it? If I am the knower and I am different from that which is known, why am I holding on to this subtle body? It's like if you are picking up a hot potato, it's so hot you can just drop it. You will not feel the heat then. Similarly, this body, gross body as well subtle body, is creating so much sorrow, one can just drop it. But it doesn't get dropped. We have been carrying it from past beginningless time. So what causes us to hold on to this Sukshma Sharir and this Sthula Sharir? That is called avidya, ignorance. I am holding on to this Sukshma Sharir out of ignorance. What ignorance? Ignorance of my own self. Not knowing myself, not knowing my real identity, not knowing my supreme nature. I hold on to this Sukshma Sharir to get little joys and sorrows of this world and the other world. I keep on holding on to them. So I hold on to them because of avidya, and this avidya is also beginningless. So with beginningless avidya as the cause, I hold on to this gross body and subtle body and experience joys and sorrows in many lifetimes. Therefore, this avidya of my real nature is called by Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji, names this avidya as causal body, karana shariram. Avidya is called causal body, karana shariram. Now, very interesting thing about this Karan Sharir, What is it? Avidya. Avidya means what? That I don't know myself. Means what? That there is an absence of self-knowledge. I don't know myself. See, knowing and not knowing, all this activity happens with the help of our buddhi. So when I say I don't know myself, there is absence of knowledge in the buddhi. Buddhi doesn't have that knowledge. Which knowledge that I am Brahma, that knowledge is not there. And because of lack of this knowledge, I hold on to this buddhi, I hold on to the sharira. Once that knowledge happens, then I can drop this sharira. That is called moksha. Moksha happens with vidya. But as long as that moksha has not happened, I am holding on to the sukshma sharir. Though I am different from it, though I am the knower of it, I hold on to it and experience joys and sorrows, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, etc. Okay? So this karana sharir, avidya, is just an absence. It is not some material. See, sukshma sharir is a material, sukshma material. Stula sharir is also material. These 5 elements, as I said. But karan sharir is not material. There is nothing there. It's an absence, but creating a lot of havoc in our life. Absence, but creating havoc in our life. So, this avidya, karan sharir avidya, is different from the prakriti of Bhagwan, what we call Maya. Maya is different and avidya is different. This you have to remember and understand. Because many people, they consider them as same. And when you consider them as same, then the whole Vedanta will go haywire. One will not understand the real teaching of the Shastra. Avidya is absence. Many times people, they just say that avidya belongs to jiva, individual avidya, and total avidya is called Maya. Maya is not total avidya. Total avidya, if we say Maya, then Ishvara will be totally ignorant. We are little ignorant, he will be totally ignorant. That is not true. So this please remember, because these confusions happen due to wrong initial study of Vedanta. We keep listening or reading all different type of stuff and get thoroughly confused. Then to remove this confusion takes more time. So you remember, avidya is different from Maya. And avidya is not a substance. But the effect of avidya is there, so we hold on to this sukshma sharir. Okay? So, here it is said that the Kshetratnya is the knower of this Stula Sharir and Sukshma Sharir. Stula Sharir we know, everyone knows that we know our gross, I am the knower of this gross physical body. See, when we go to sleep, when we dream, or even when we are in deep sleep, we get separated from our sthula sharir. We become totally separate from our sthula sharir. Suppose you are dreaming. So when you are asleep and dreaming, you are unaware of your sthula sharir. Your sthula sharir must be lying on the bed, but you are dreaming that you are walking on the road. So, when we sleep, we get separated from the body, gross physical body, when we are dreaming. That means this gross body is different from us. Just as this pen, if I can be separated from the pen, that means I am different from the pen. So when I say I am knower of the pen, I am not only knower of the pen, but I am different from the pen also. So saying that I am knower of this body, I am different from this gross body. And that difference we can experience when we go to sleep vividly. So body is left lying down on the bed, but we are separate. We experience ourselves totally differently. Then very interesting, when we are dreaming, we also stop experiencing our senses and organs of action also. Means our organs of perception and organs of actions are also not experienced. In our dream, we only experience our mind and the samskar of the mind. We might be walking, talking, seeing, hearing in the dream, but all this is just an expression of our mind only. Our eyes are not seeing there. It is just a memory of the mind which is getting expressed in our dream. Our legs are just not moving, but still we are walking in our dream. We are talking in our dream. Our tongue is not moving, the physical tongue is not moving. So the dream is nothing but expression of our antakarana. There the karmendriyas, jnanendriyas don't function. There I am cut off from my physical body also. I am identified only with my antakarana chatushtaya, mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. And the pranas are also there. But then when I go to deep sleep, in deep sleep, means dreamless sleep, I get separated from my antakarana also. So in deep sleep I exist separated from my antakarana. That means that I, who was there in deep sleep, is different from the sukshma sharir and different from the sthula sharir, remains separated from them. So that I, which remains separated from sthula sharir and sukshma sharir, separate from them, is the real knower of them. He is the kshetrajna. The sthula sharir is known, The Sukshma Sharir is also known, and the knower is one who is separate from them. So who is separate from them? The one who was in deep sleep is separate from them. But in deep sleep, the activity of knowing is not happening. In deep sleep, I am neither knowing myself nor am I knowing the world. Yes, the activity of knowing is not happening because the mind, intellect and all are not functioning. But the knower is myself only. When the mind wakes up, the intellect wakes up, again the activity of knowing happens. For example, this pen. With the help of pen, I write. So who is writing? Who is the writer? The pen is the writer, or I am the writer? I am the writer. But I, the writer, remains separated from the pen. And when I remain separated from the pen, the activity of writing doesn't happen. But still I am the writer. Similarly, when I am in deep sleep, the activity of knowing is not happening. But I am the knower. The deep sleeper is the knower. The deep sleeper is called Kshetrajna. The Kshetrajna itself is called Pratyak Atma. Pratyak Atma means the innermost self. Innermost means it is inside the gross body, it is inside the subtle body, and it is separate from the subtle body also, deep within. Therefore it's called Pratyekatma. That same Kshetrajna is also called Purusha, because it remains sleeping in this body. Purishayanat, Purusha. That same Kshetrajna is called Jiva. The same Kshetrajna is called Karta, Bhokta, Jnata. The doer, knower, enjoyer. See, these are very important because this is the very essence of the teaching of our Upanishads. If you understand it, then it's good. So when we are in deep sleep, listen carefully, when we are in deep sleep, that time we don't know anything. Because that activity of knowing happens only when buddhi is there. But buddhi and all was separated. But I was present in deep sleep, and when I wake up, I know that I slept. I know that I slept happily. And I know that when I was in deep sleep, there was no mind, no intellect, no ahankar, no chitta, no senses, no body. Nothing was with me. I was alone, separated from everything. Though in deep sleep, therefore the scripture says in deep sleep you become one with Ishvara. You are one with Brahma. But potentially, ignorance is there, means I have not realized myself. So, again, the mind and intellect wakes up. That's called waking up. Because never goes to sleep. I am always awake. So when mind and intellect wakes up, again I identify with the mind and intellect, and again I continue to remain ignorant. Therefore, when I was asleep, potentially I am ignorant only there. Though ignorance is not a thing, so there is no physical object called ignorance. So I am one with Ishvara in deep sleep. There is no difference between I and Ishvara in deep sleep. Therefore, later on, Bhagavad will say that the Kshetratnya is myself. Kshetratnyam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. I am the Kshetratnya in all. Okay? Now, very important. When I am in deep sleep, I am separated from Sukshma Sharir and Sthula Sharir. Karan Sharir is not a stuff, so there is nothing other than Sukshma Sharir and Sthula Sharir. So I am one with Ishvara. There are those, if I mistake this, if I consider avidya as same as Maya, then the deep sleep will not be understood properly. There will be confusion about it. Many people, they consider Karan Sharir as made up of vasanas and all those things. That is not true. Karan Sharir is only avidya roop, which is an absence. All our vasanas, samskars and all are all in our antakarana only. Even the Anandamaya Kosh is up to the antakarana. Deep sleep is not Anandamaya Kosh. Deep sleep is not Karana Sharir. Deep sleep, I become one with that Brahma. Okay? Too many things I told, so you please listen to this pravachan again and contemplate on all that I have said. Try to understand, and more about this we will see in our class tomorrow. So till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana, listen to this pravachan, contemplate, understand, share it with your friends and relatives and different groups, because it's very important. A lot of misunderstanding which we have about Vedanta will get dispelled, and we shall meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Boliye Syavar Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate मुच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ